I would like to invite Dr. Jiju P. Alex, who is currently a member of Kerala State Planning Board. Formerly, he was the Director of Extension, Kerala Agriculture University.
Respected Chair and distinguished panelists and guests. In fact, I would mostly concentrate on the development perspectives of the local governments in Kerala during the 14th five-year plan, which is formulated and implemented at a very crucial juncture of the state. And being the only state which has decided to retain the process of long-term planning, five-year plan, which has been stopped by the central government years back, we propose to do mainly two things. First, to sustain and take forward the model of redistributive and equitable development and take the local government into every doorstep of the Grama Panchayats and urban local bodies for efficient delivery of services and robust economic growth. And secondly, transform the local governments as the fulcrum of local development to support and complement the attempts of the government of Kerala to build and enhance economic development and to build a knowledge economy. I think we would like to have a close look at the devolution of funds, particularly done in Kerala. So we have progressively enhanced the funds devoted to local governments. We have the general purpose fund of 4% of the state's own tax revenue. Maintenance funds for assets is 4% of the state owns tax revenue. Maintenance funds for road again is 2%. And the development fund is progressively increasing, and right now it is 27.2% of the state plan outlay. In fact, the 6th Finance Commission, led by Sri S.M. Vijayanand, had suggested that over a period of time, this devolution has to be increased to 30%. And we are closely following that, even we are ardently following that objective. From 2016 to 17 to 2023-24, we have enhanced this devolution from 22.9% to 27.2%. And there is a big issue which we currently face. In fact, the gross plan of the state and the proportion of funds availed by the local governments is a whopping 42.3%. And gross plan is nothing but the state share of the centrally sponsored schemes and the development grants. And it is higher than any other state, and it is a great sum of 42.3%. In fact, we have also tried to give some mandatory provisions and mandatory ceilings for the local governments. And we insist that there has to be 30% of these funds have to be implemented in the productive sector, and we earmark 20% of the plan funds for the priority sector of the state government in housing, 10% for the women component plan, 5% for the children and the differently abled and transgenders, and 5% for the aged. In fact, more than 30% should not be spent in the infrastructure sector in order to avoid corruptive practices. So, and also I would like to point out a few things regarding the 15th Finance Commission grants. Unlike the 14th Finance Commission grant, 15th FC has been very restrictive. It has insisted that much of the money given to the rural local bodies and the urban local bodies have to be tight funds, and you can spend only in a very selected area, which restricts the freedom of governments, particularly state governments and the local government. We do not have any other way than to spend this money in selected sectors which are not required, basically, sometimes which are not required, which is a priority sector of the government. So these restrictive practices have curtailed the freedom of state governments and the local governments to invest in areas which require more attention. And in the 14th five-year plan, other than whatever has been mentioned by various speakers previous to me, we have insisted that the local bodies should concentrate on two important things. First of all, it has to become, as I said earlier, the fulcrum of local economic development. It has to create employment as much as possible. It has to concentrate on small-scale enterprises, particularly in the aftermath of the floods and the COVID, Kerala is striving to get back to the economic growth trajectory, which is very important, and local bodies are supposed to complement this process. So, in fact, we also have insisted that the local bodies in the 14th five-year plan should concentrate on rapid urbanization, sustainable development goals, geriatric care, master plans for urban centers, waste management, enhancement of the efficiency of service delivery, and also integrate science and technology, make use of the higher education institutions and research organizations in the state to get solutions for the local governments. So, and also we have to see that these initiatives should necessarily foster innovations and entrepreneurship development in all sectors, including waste management. So, in fact, Kerala is surging forward to a new model of economic development which is going to be assisted by science and technology. As envisioned in the 14th plan, Kerala is surging forward to have a knowledge economy, particularly based on its strengths, and local bodies are going to support this process of economic development and also combining various other thrust areas which the speakers have pointed out. I thank the government for having given me this opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.